And literally that entire day, my husband and I had a truck and trailer, and we did 3 loads to get rid of stuff at the dump, donating whatever we could do with it to get him and his family, had 2 little kids and a wife, able to move in that afternoon when they were supposed to.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome to the Closing Table Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin C. McIntosh. Join us on this episode, real estate professional. We want to welcome Michelle Bennett to the Closing Table. How are you doing, Michelle?
Doing great. It's a sunny day today.
I know, right? Very, very unusual, specifically in our market in Michigan, but a beautiful sunny day today. And I appreciate you for taking time out to be with us also. We like to acknowledge that. So,
Absolutely.
Let's tiptoe into some business talk, starting off with you as an individual. Michelle, if you don't mind, tell us who you are outside of real estate.
I am a wife. I am a stepmom. I'm a dog mom. The kids are left the house, but we have 2 dogs at home. And my husband and I really love the water. That's my happy place, is going to the lake. So
Nice.
do that as much as possible.
Nice. Yeah, I just had a conversation with someone talking about the peace and serenity that you get from being on the water, and just how it's just different. It takes you to a different place, different mindset. So yes, great life to live right there. And we always love when you are a mother, a wife, and just a family person too. So we always like to give people acknowledgement on that. So let's move into the business part of your life, the real estate professional that you are. First, let's start off with talking about how/why you became a real estate professional, and then talk about your actual business. Just give a little bit more insight.
I had done previously renovations on homes and sold them. And in some of my experiences, we got to the closing table. It wasn't fun. It wasn't somebody that I felt like after I got done with the transaction, I would ever speak with for any reason. And I felt like the deal could have been done more personable. That when I got to the end, it's a very big life decision. Instead of being like, whew, that's done. Right. I wasn't ecstatic about it. And I was trying to think, how would I do things differently? And so I entered into real estate and tried to be not just transactional, but very much more about the experience and coming out with people that consider me a friend in the end, not just an agent.
Yeah. The experience is what makes the brand. Ultimately, it has nothing to do with the product. Any and everybody can sell most products on any specific market, but you have to make the experience different. How are you giving the information? How are you empowering the client, the buyer? How are you making them feel like they're making educated decisions? That's what really makes your brand stand apart. So, and I get it too. When someone kind of treats you a certain type of way, or you have a certain experience, you like, I know it can be better. And sometimes you'll go to the lengths to say, I know I can do better, and I will do better. And that kind of motivates you to be the successful agent that you are. I completely understand that. Well said. So let's talk about your actual market then, where you do your business. So I want you to describe your market first geographically for the people who've never been there.
So I'm in Michigan, which obviously we have the Great Lakes around us, and my typical market is the southwest lower corner of the mitten. So kind of the middle of the state south, but the west side. So gotcha. Kalamazoo is my hub, which a lot of people just say we're halfway between Chicago and Detroit. We're on the main thoroughfare. So where we're at, we get snow, we get the 4 seasons, we get just a lot of different things. And I think it makes it a very unique market in that piece.
Right. I love Kalamazoo first and foremost. Born there, have family there. Lived all across Michigan, but my heart is still with Kalamazoo. Love it. And it's one of the home of Western Michigan. A few other things. A nice college town. it's not a big Detroit or Grand Rapids market, but it's not a small South Haven Bangor area either. It's that nice in between. It's not too far. It's a drive away from the beach, Lake Michigan, and like you said, a split hair between Chicago and Detroit. I think it's a great mixture, a great location. Also, obviously, it still gets all the seasons in Michigan like we all do, but I think Kalamazoo is a very slept on market, nonetheless. Me personally.
Right. And I think it stays very solid. We don't
Mm-hmm.
feel the ups and downs like some of the other cities do because of the heavy medical.
Good
You
point.
know,
Ooh,
COVID
okay.
hit, we
Yeah.
still had pharmacia, we still, all those big medical companies, we have hospitals. I don't think we felt it as much as some of the other areas did because
Right.
you had that business that had to keep going.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. So, how about you tell us exactly what's going on there when it comes to real estate? Paint that picture for us. How is your market doing economically? Do you have any data for us?
Yeah, so days on the market last year in January, we were averaging 82 days on the market. January, obviously, in Michigan is a very slow time.
Damn.
This year, January, we are down to 62 days on the market. So it is really in a downward trend.
Okay.
Buyers are coming out with the interest rates dropping.
Right. Right. Right.
Prices have also gone the opposite direction. Last year, our average sale price was 269. We're now
Mm-hmm.
at 280. So
Oh.
days on the market are going down and prices are going up year over year.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
interesting. Shocked but not surprised, I guess I could say.
yeah, we're entering into what could be an interesting year, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are anticipating. This is going to be a very interesting year, especially coming off the heels of the effects of the pandemic and all of that brought what with the lower interest rates and then the interest rates going high and then it kind of being a seller's market and everything in between. Then this is going to be one of those. Okay, are we cooling off? Are we going to lean more towards the buyer's market? Are we going to keep skewed towards the seller's market? And it's different cities and probably major metropolitan areas that are kind of determine that a little bit more to the extreme side. But Kalamazoo is still one of those markets that, it'll gauge it, but it's less of an effect, like you said. I love the way that you put it right there. But yeah, the
Yeah.
price increase, no surprise there. No surprise. Still
No.
very affordable. Very affordable.
Yep, it's an affordable market. It depends on where you're at. I mean, if you're in the city of Kalamazoo, there are draws there. Being
Mm-hmm.
from Kalamazoo, we have the Kalamazoo Promise, which is a very unique opportunity for kids to go to
Yeah.
college for free.
Yeah.
You get
Love
outside the
Kalamazoo
city
Promise.
limits
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you have microbreweries, you have lots of lakes, you have it's a thriving art community with art hop that goes on downtown.
Yeah.
There's so much in Kalamazoo. They really have rounded it out nicely. And
Yep.
now they're talking about this big arena, I think breaks ground next year.
Mm. Okay. Interesting. So I saw that they already did upgrades to the wing center. Now they're talking about another stadium or arena out there. That's
Yep,
nice.
right
That's nice.
downtown,
There you
right in the
go.
middle of
Okay.
downtown.
Okay, cool. Right. There's an Amtrak station there too. It can take you to Detroit, it can take you to Chicago. There's so many things. We can talk about Kalamazoo. I mean, obviously, me passionate, being, born there. So I can speak on it too. But I love that you're highlighting that because, like I said, I think it's one of those cities that's really slept on. And it has a lot of great programs like the Kalamazoo Promise.
Yeah, I mean, for someone moving into the area, when you're talking
Uh-huh.
to buyers that are like, "Hey, I'm thinking about moving from California. Cost of living is cheaper." A lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
influxing out of some of those big metropolitan areas, and they're like, "What do you have there?"
Mm-hmm.
Everything. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
really, from your fine arts to your breweries to lakes. I mean, do you want to go hiking? The
Yeah.
bike trail that goes all the way to the lake shore. There's just so many things. It's like, what are you interested in? Because we probably have something that's going to attract you to our area.
Correct, correct. I agree. I agree. Might be biased, but I agree. But so speaking on your experience though, renovating homes and things of that nature, I always find that to be a very valuable skill added on to your license as a real estate professional. You talk about some of the challenges that you may have faced in a renovation project, and talk about how you overcame it and how you feel like it helped you grow as a real estate professional.
Well, with any house, you can go in and you can look at, hey, I'd like it to be open. Open
Hmm.
concept for years now has been very popular.
Yeah.
But you can't just remove a wall. A lot of them are structural. So even when you're dealing with clients, they're like, hey, I'd love to make this open concept. Anything can be done for a price. But when you're talking about renovating homes, is it your long term home, or are you looking to sell it and make money and you can't afford to reinforce a whole second floor if you want to take out a load bearing wall? So when we're dealing with houses, sometimes you have to balance. I really like this idea, but is it financially the smart thing to do with this home?
Hmm.
And that's what I think I walk into sometimes is, okay, I have to work within the confines of really what I have to work with here. How do I make it function really well and maybe not completely open it up?
Right.
Or, what are your options? When
Right.
my husband and I bounce ideas off of each other, kind of jumping. One of the sayings, per se, that we say all the time is, okay, let's just try to think outside the box for a minute. How can we make this feel this way and do it differently? It's not
Mm.
right, it's not wrong, it's
Hmm.
different.
Hmm.
And talk those ideas through. So there's been several times when you start off with one idea and you end up with a different idea that ultimately is so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. And the main thing that I heard throughout that whole thing you said is creativity. You gotta be creative. You gotta be creative with the space that you have. You gotta, like you said, maybe you can't do certain things that you really want to because it'll then damage the structure. But if you can find another way to still get that feeling, ultimately you want that feeling, right? We always want a feeling from what we buy or what we consume or whatever the case may be. So if you can still get that feeling and find a creative route to get there, then I mean, you need a professional like yourself that has that experience to help you. Then you can still achieve that without necessarily, jeopardizing certain things. Well said.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love where you're living. You go home there to
Mm,
relax at night. Talk to people, bounce ideas. You might get something you go, hmm, I
yep.
really didn't think of it that way.
Yep, yep. That's the
And it's a,
I say that all the time. I say your home. If there's any place in the world you should be comfortable, it's your home. I'm
of
talking about
course.
put the temperature on the thermostat to whatever you want it to be, walk around in whatever you want to wear. But if it's any place in the world I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be my house. And you want to make sure you got that comfortable feeling there too. I would agree. I would agree. Dealing with home buying clients though, you got some that are experienced, and you got some that
Mhm.
are first time home buyers. Now, there's pros and cons to both, if you ask me. But being a first time home buyer probably has a lot more advantages and benefits than people think. So, can you talk about some of the advantages and benefits that people can get as first time home buyers, maybe even specifically in your market? And then, what qualifies you to be a first time home buyer? Because a lot of people think it's literally you buying your first home, and after you buy your first home, you can never be a first time home buyer.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, let's start with the reasons that make you a first time home buyer. Yes,
Yes.
if you've never purchased a home, you're absolutely a first time home buyer.
Mhm,
If
mhm.
you haven't purchased a home in 3 years, you're also a first time home buyer.
Mm.
The other thing is maybe you got a divorce and you're a single parent. That puts you right back into what's considered the first time home buyer pool.
Mm.
So, some people, if they've gone through a divorce situation, whether they have a child or not, maybe their husband or wife owned the home and they've gotten a divorce, they're still a first time home buyer, not being part of that married entity. So
Right.
you're not limited. And those programs are designed to give you those lower interest rates sometimes, lower down
Mhm,
payments,
mhm.
to help us as agents get those people into homes that don't have 20% down.
Correct. Correct. Which is a misconception, by the way. I mean, yeah, the traditional route, yeah, you can put 20% down, but there's FHA programs and other programs where you can put little, I mean, what, 3.5% down, sometimes some
Mhm.
programs 0% down if you're a veteran or live in a certain area. So it's always to be good to be aware of that. But I wanted to highlight that because a lot of people just feel like, I already bought a home. I can't, or I bought a home a while ago. So I'm not a first time home buyer. I bought a home 10 years ago. I mean, I don't have it anymore, but I bought one before. And that's not the case. Like you said, if you haven't bought a home in 3 years or if you got divorced, there's certain situations that will requalify you as a first time home buyer. Thank you for clarifying that. You do have some good reviews though. I got a client review that I saw that basically just talked about how you were very good at helping them throughout the entire process and how you went out of your way to help them. That's a very vague term for someone to say. I don't know if you recall this specific experience or client, but first and foremost, the first thing I want to ask is what was your version of going out of your way, or did you consider going out of your way? Like, what is going out of your way, and specifically with this situation?
So I don't know which client it was,
Okay.
but there's been several situations where I don't know if every agent would do it, but I feel like if someone needs help with something and I can help them, I should. So I've done everything from show up with a trailer hooked up to my husband's truck and we've raked leaves before photos were taken. I had a
Mm,
buyer, we went to the final walkthrough. We walked in the entire estate. Nobody had taken anything out of the house. He needed to move in. He'd given notice. So we couldn't really push back without a lot of problems for a lot of people.
hmm.
So I said, well, if you're comfortable with it, we can go ahead and close. And literally that entire day, my husband and I had a truck and trailer, and we did 3 loads to get rid of stuff at the dump, donating whatever we could do with it to get him and his family, had 2 little kids and a wife, able to move in that afternoon when they were supposed to.
That's what's up.
You
Yeah,
just
that's
have
good.
to do what can get done to get to where you need to be, because putting somebody out on the street was not an option.
Yeah. No, I can see that. And that's the definition of actually caring about your client, it going beyond the transaction and you actually helping them. If you really care and you want to help them, you do stuff like that. That's a perfect example. So now I have to ask you, kind of on the flip side of that, how do you set boundaries with that being said? How do you set a limit so that you're not going really out of your way? Because I feel like going out of your way is really where you like, I can't do that. That's out of my way. Where's your boundaries?
I don't know that I have a boundary on something if I feel like I can help them.
Okay. Okay.
If I feel like what I'm doing could hurt myself or somebody else, like I'm horrible with heights. I can try to find somebody to maybe help clean something off of a roof.
Uh-huh.
I am never going to get on a roof. I would freeze. I do not do well with heights. So that would put me in danger. So I think that's my boundary. But if I physically have the means to help somebody and I can make it happen, it's part of almost being neighborly. Why would you not try to make that happen?
Right. Yeah. I agree. I agree. It's like, if it's in your ability, if you're willing to do it, you're able to do it. It's really about your ability. Like you said, I kind of understand that. If you are able to do it, obviously it has to make sense. But yeah, you will do it more than likely. I understand you saying you don't necessarily see the boundaries or limits. I 100% get that. I just feel like there is a boundary or a limit somewhere. Maybe I can't pull it out, but I completely understand. You go way above and beyond for your client. So I just want to say I respect that. That just proves that
Thank
you're
you.
a better person than I am, and you're fit for this job. Because I definitely couldn't do that. It'd have to be another decision. But I'm glad that you do that to make sure that your clients aren't in those type of situations. But going back to your renovation experience,
Okay.
that also means that you also have your builder's license, correct?
I do.
Okay. Okay, good. So when you having that builder's license, I imagine you kind of applied that knowledge to helping some of your clients and their situations also. You have any examples you helping your clients with your knowledge from your builder's license kind of do some changes to
So
their home?
I don't know about changes, but I think with any walkthrough, you're going to look for things
Okay.
that might be a red flag, especially when you're dealing with what we talked about with the first time home buyer projects.
Mm-hmm.
When you go a first time home buyer loan, there are certain things that those appraisers look for that they do not want to be a problem for those buyers. And it's to protect them. They want
Mm-hmm.
5 years left on a roof. That's fine. If I look at a roof and I see missing shingles, not only do I say, hey, it needs a new roof, but I can also say, and your FHA loan is not going to be happy with that. The
Mm.
electrical panel, I don't know everything about electrical. I am not an electrician,
Right.
but I do know what like the old knob and tube wiring looks like. I do know if it looks really rusted. I know the old fuses. There's some things that I know that whether it's from my builder's license or I also usually go and do the walkthrough with the home inspector at the end of the home inspection. So
Right.
he's
Right.
pointing out, he or she is pointing out things. So if
Mm-hmm.
they're pointing out things, I'm learning still things that I may not know because your builder's license is kind of an overview. Hey, this
Mm.
is a bad crack. This is not such a bad crack. Here's how to stud out a wall. You know, just because you have your builder's license doesn't mean I could go out tomorrow and build a house. I would not
Right.
even
Okay.
try. But it gives me
Right.
enough knowledge to say, okay, I think this might be a concern, whether it's your home inspector or we need a structural engineer. I really, I'm concerned. And I think it
Mhm.
gives more validity to my opinion because I've had that training.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. Thank you for putting that out there. Just because you have a builder's license doesn't mean that you necessarily will have the desire or the will to necessarily go build, but it does give you that builder's eye though to look out for those things. It doesn't, it's still part of the process to getting an inspection, obviously, but you kind of can your eye can kind of even help save some money on certain things, certain inspections, just ahead of time, just by looking at it. Oh, there's a crack in that foundation. You're probably going to need some foundation, a new foundation or some type of repair. That's going to be a lot. Or, just things like that, I
Mhm.
would imagine will come into play. It's help save your clients a lot of money, which I think is very important. You can find a realtor and agent who has certain skills, certifications that can literally help save you money down the line. That's another thing you should definitely consider when hiring a professional like yourself.
Yeah, I think any agent can learn those things as time goes on if they wish to. It just does it interest you. You know,
Correct.
for me,
Yep.
whatever reason, it actually interests me. So I
Hmm.
go through and I look at things a little bit differently. Hey, this might be a big deal. Are you sure you want to say you want to go down this rabbit hole? Because it could be you're chasing all these little things. It could
Good
get
point.
expensive. Or would
Mm.
you rather have something that is very much more cosmetic upgrades and I don't see any red flags?
Yep. Yep. No, I get it. I get it. Job well done there. From your experience, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of the real estate industry as a whole today?
I think the ebbs and flows. You know, you have times when you are very slow. In Michigan, when there's a snowstorm, nobody, unless they absolutely have to, wants to
Yeah.
go look at a house trudging through a foot of snow.
Yeah.
So you're home and you still need to keep your business going. You're still sending emails, you're still doing follow up, but you may not be feeling like you're making any progress. But then you hit summer when the kids are out of school and everybody wants to move before the school year
Yeah.
starts. And now you're slammed. I think it's hard then to really balance my day and be able to say, okay, I can fit in this many people. I need to do these showings. I can get offers written and allow time for me because it's really
Hmm.
hard sometimes to say no when you're so busy and you know everybody wants to get in and time is of the essence. So it's managing your day to day.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
it's
get it.
slow, sometimes it's not.
Mhm. Mhm. And by the way, do you work alone? Do you have a team that you work with to kind of help you in your process, your transactions?
So I am an individual agent. I am not
Mhm.
on a team.
Mhm.
So I don't have anybody that really shares my workload per se. However, there's a group of us within our office that if I have three people that want to see houses and they're not busy, they're willing to show a house for me. But I will do the same in return. Okay.
Gotcha.
They're
Gotcha.
super busy 3 weeks later and they're like, hey, can you just let my client into this house? So we
Mhm.
help each other out within the office, but we do not share commissions or do anything of that nature. And having
Right.
somebody you trust to not take your client and to
Correct.
show is absolutely huge. And what I love about where I work.
Correct. 100%. I agree. Yeah, it's about collaboration over the competition. And it takes a very select it's only a select few of agents that have that mindset. Cuz just like you said, you have to trust those other agents because it's a dog eat dog world and industry.
Yes.
Like you said, and I get it, I mean, you're all entrepreneurs. You literally eat what you kill in a sense. Like you have to go out and actually work in order to reap the rewards of that. It's not like a consistent paycheck like the average W2 employee would get. So yeah, if you are, out there in that type of industry, you have to kind of like make a way, but also you're working amongst others. So if you can find a way to kind of collaborate and help each other out in those situations, it'll make a great difference. I can understand that 100%, Michelle.
Yeah.
I want you to kind of inspire us at this moment. Has there been some sort of book, movie, quote, or philosophy that you live by that inspire you personally or professionally that you could share with us?
It just goes back to thinking outside the box. I
Hmm.
always tell people that if you want to get into a home, we'll figure out a way. Do we need to get you to a lender and do a different type of loan, a renovation loan, a rural development loan, with no money down? Their situations are all different. And I put a quote out not that long ago that buyers and sellers are like snowflakes. They're all unique, and you cannot put one in the same box as another because situations are unique. Family dynamics, divorce situations add another little trick. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't go into the appointment expecting them to fit in a box. I go into an appointment and say, you tell me what you need from me, what's going on in your life as to why we're here. Why are we doing this? Are you upgrading? Are you downgrading? Are you divorcing?
Yep.
Did somebody pass? Because those situations all are unique. And
Yeah.
that is how I try to live my life is I don't know what's going on until you tell me. So you tell me and let me see if I can help fix it.
Hmm. Hmm. And all of those things make a difference too, believe it or not. Like the story behind why you're buying or selling, your family, your job, just all of those different factors can make the slightest difference. Whether you're telling the other person on the other side of the closing table, and maybe they can relate to it, or maybe they just, your real estate agent that you're working with can take all of that information and kind of find the correct neighborhood or home that literally tailors and fits to exactly what you need. And it can be some things that you don't even necessarily think about that your agent can pick up based on their experience. I 100% get and understand that, Michelle. Well said, well played. Perfect place to land the plane. Want to thank you so much for coming to the closing table again. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm in the Southwest Michigan area. And if you have any questions, if you're in the area, if you want tips on where to go, you can reach out to me by my cell phone, 269 I'm always willing to talk to other agents to say, hey, maybe you want to move here. I can't say enough good things about the area. Obviously, you're a fan, but it's, it's just not like anywhere else. I don't think that I've ever been. It's very different and it's in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you again, Michelle. We appreciate you for being here. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, do us both a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the content also. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. And Michelle, I'm going to also leave our audience with a question on the way out of the door. So this is for you. Has your agent ever renovated or helped you build something on your property after close? And what was it? How did that project go? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.